in the previous video, we only saw slopes that were positive, right? And you can see just by looking at these lines, we can see from left to right, when we read from left to right, they're going up, right? So this is a positive slope. This is a positive slope, okay? So I did in the last video, positive only. But let's now take a look at some of the other possibilities. You can see from looking at this first graph, right? You can see just from looking at this first graph, that line, if we read from left to right, right? If we read from left to right when we're looking at a graph, this slope is negative. Okay, this one I can see from left to right, it's going up. This slope is going to be positive, and this last one is going down from left to right, and that slope is going to be negative. Okay, so notice I actually, it was kind of worth my time to just observe that even before I start looking at the slopes and the rise over run and all that jazz. All right, so let's take a look at rise over run here. So I'm going to find my 2 points. I find this one and this one, right? And notice there's like another one right here and there's another one right here. But I chose my first two and I'm just going to stick with them. So here I have my rise and my run. Okay. Now again, I do go left to right. So as you're looking at this rise and run, you might say, okay, well from this first point to this second point, I'm actually going down 2. I could consider this rise as -2 because I'm going down 2. And then this run is +4. But here's the thing, there's actually not really a consequence if you just call this 2. Okay, because here's why. You already know this slope is going to be negative. So whether you decide that 2 is negative or not, it doesn't really matter, because you're going to say, okay, rise over run, that was 2/4. Now, maybe you say it's -2/4. Well, in which case you say, okay, well, this is for sure going to be, this basically says a negative number divided by a positive number, which is negative. And then you're going to simplify and say, okay, oh, look, I can divide both of these by 2, and you're going to get -1/2. Okay, now let's just say that you didn't identify this as -2, you just identified it as +2. Well, then you would have had 2/4, and you said, oh, I can simplify this. Divided by 2, I get 1/2. And then you would have looked back up at your note up here, you would have looked back at the graph and said, oh, but this is a negative slope, so that's a -1/2, right? So either way, whether you kind of notice it on the graph or you, as you're noticing the rise over run, or if you just kind of notice it right at the beginning, oh, I see this is a negative slope, then either way, you're going to get the same answer. Let's take a look at this one. Okay, right away I noticed that this graph is actually positive. So this is going to be a positive slope. I noticed 2 points right here. And so here my rise over run. So let's see. My rise is 1, and my run is 1, 2, 3. And can I simplify that? Nope. I'm all done, right? And I check back up here. Yep, positive, positive, cool. We're all good. All right, let's take a look at this last one. I need to find 2 points. I find this one, and there's one here, there's one here. There's actually one up here in this corner right here. So it doesn't matter which 2 I use. Let's say I choose this one and this one. So I can sort of draw my triangle here, right? This is my run, and that's only 1 space. And then this is my rise, and that is 2. So my rise over run is 2/1, and I remember, this is where I might make a mistake. I have to look at this and say, this slope is negative, right? So when I get my answer, it's going to be negative, okay, no matter what. So I might have noticed when I said this rise, oh, I actually went from this point, I went over to the right one, and I went down to, oh, that's -2. Doesn't matter, right? Even though I didn't notice that, and I put just +2 down here, I still know that ultimately my slope is going to be negative. And 2 divided by 1, remember, is 2. So we just write -2. We don't write -2/1. Okay, that's not simplest form. We write -2 in our answer. Okay, and then just a final reminder that if you end up with a slope like this, if you see a horizontal line like this, you don't have to do any work. That slope is 0. You see a vertical line like this, you don't have to do any work. That slope is undefined. Okay, and we're going to talk about this in our next topic, but one way to think of this is if I do rise over run here, let's just do it. Let's choose 2 points, right? Let's choose 2 points. What's my rise? Oh, my rise is 0. Yeah, I didn't rise. I didn't go up or down. And my run is 3. So that's 0 divided by 3. That's 0. Okay. Undefined, if I choose 2 points, and my pen went off. Undefined, if I choose 2 points, let's say I choose these. Here, what's my rise? Well, I went up 1, 2, 3, 4. So my rise is actually 4, but my run, oh, I don't go left to right. So my run is 0. So this is 4 divided by 0. Now you might think, oh, well, that's 0. No, it's not. You can't divide by 0. That doesn't make any sense, right? Think this over here, 0 divided by 3, that's you have 0 cookies. And when you share with 3 friends, you all get 0 cookies. But this is you have 4 cookies, and now you are sharing those with 0 people. That just doesn't make any sense. So that's where we get undefined, is that division by 0. Okay, but for what you need to understand for right now is when you see horizontal line, right away that slope is 0, and when you see a vertical line, right away that slope is undefined.